Okay, I'm gonna do this off the top of my head. It's all imagination, it's not real. So I was sitting in my house and I was being mean, a dark empath. I'll show you. And I poked the bear and I poked the bear and I poked him. And all of a sudden, wow, the bear threw a table at me. So I picked up a stick from the table. I said, "On guard, bear, on guard, we shall fight." And we did. And then my chariot came to take me away. He fidgeted all the way there. I said, "Why do you fidget? Stop that fidgeting. That's nervousness, that's anxiety. Let that go." So we got to my dungeon where I went in and I was still laughing about fighting the bear. I had no idea what was in store for me. They put me in a dungeon. Oh, it was cold. I only had on my pajamas because I was in my home. There was bloody band-aids and poop and disease all over that room. I knock on the window. "Can I go home now, please? Why am I here? I only fought a bear." I knocked on the door, and a man from the dungeon came. I said, "Ooh, you smell like alcohol." He got mad at me and shut the door. I said, "Well, there was a phone on the wall, but it didn't work." He said, "I want a phone call. I want a representative for this dungeon." And I was denied. I waited and waited, and I cried and I prayed, "Lord, get me out of this dungeon. I don't belong here. What did I do but fight the bear?" So then a nice man came, said, "I'm going to help you." I said, "Oh, good. I'm good to go home." But he lied. I found everyone in the dungeon is a big fat liar. So I sat and waited, and then they took me down the hall. I thought I was never coming home. I was scared, and I was remorseful for telling that driver to stop fidgeting and fighting the bear. They put me in a dungeon. It was like a fishbowl where I saw other people in there, just like me. It was sad. They gave me a list of rules to follow, and I did, as I like to follow the rules. But they didn't follow the rules. It was all pretend. I heard people in the dungeon screaming in pain. It was so upsetting to me. And I heard bang, bang, bang. And I heard bad words coming from the people in the dungeon that worked there. I was afraid. I saw other girls come in with a horrible look on their face. What had been done to them, I don't know. They said, "Mind your P's and Q's, or they'll put you in the hole, where you'll be rolled in a blanket." Not even a blanket, just naked on the floor, and be tortured and tormented in the dungeon with just a hole to go potty in, all diseased. I said, "Oh, I don't want to go there." I got called a crybaby. I didn't care, so I cried and I prayed, and then I met this beautiful woman, and she told me to find something positive make any sense to me. I made some lovely friends in there. And then another girl came in and she sang in my dungeon and gave me hope and gave us all hope. We had scriptures and hope and singing, but it was horrible. And there was no color, except for I had little color pencils about that big that I wrote my scriptures on. And she sang. And then we got the screen of the color TV where I could see color. No TV, just color, which was good. I thought I was never going to leave that fishbowl. There was one person that worked there that had a little picture. They colored of themselves. Some were nice. They scared me. I got locked in the shower. I screamed and yelled, horrified. I never want to go back to that dungeon again. Ever. It's not what you think it is. And people don't deserve that dungeon. At all. No matter what they did. But this is just a nightmare I had. It's not true. None of it's true what happened to me in that dungeon. I just thought I'd share that. It's not all unicorns and rainbows in my dreams of the dungeon. Praise God, Jesus Christ is Lord Yeshua.